I have with me Jim O'Farrell, who used to work with me for many years, and he's a great friend. He's in the Seattle area, and I'll be interviewing Jim. We'll have a few questions that we'll ask him, and then at the same time, towards the end, we'll do a short demo, and then followed by a Q&A at the very end. So if you have questions along the way, please type in into the Zoom chat box, and we'll try to get to it. But we'll get going right away. So welcome everybody, and it's a pleasure to introduce Jim O'Farrell. So Jim, why don't you tell me a little bit about your background, your career, and kind of yeah, what's going on?
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Vikram. And first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for carving time out today to join this webinar. I think you'll find it very informative and interesting what Vikram's team has done here. From a background perspective, again, I was born and raised right here in the state of Washington. I'm now married 45 years. I have 2 married sons and 3 grandkids. I started my career with IBM Corporation back in the early 80s as a system engineer, doing capital asset management systems with a language called RPG2, if many of you remember that. I moved on to the introduction to the IBM PC and went to work for a company of Lotus Development back in the early 80s. Since that time, in the last 25 years, I've been involved in product marketing, product management roles in the Puget Sound area. And as Vikram mentioned, I worked not only with Winshuttle in that capacity, but also a company called Captura that was acquired by Concur. And most recently as Director of Product Marketing at Smartsheet here in the Bellevue area. One of the things that I find is that like many other product people, and I know there's product people on this webinar today, welcome. I enjoy the intersection of the market, where you're dealing with customers and market, and the development side of the equation, especially in enterprise software, and have had quite a bit of success with that. The other point I'd just like to briefly make is that a year ago, April, I completed my PhD, and now putting it to work teaching consumer behavior, integrated marketing communications. I'm developing a data analytics for marketers class at City University here in Seattle. So putting that to work as a teacher. And finally, now that I'm semi-retired, I'm spending more time doing volunteer work with King County Habitat for Humanity, and also teaching 3 grandkids reading, writing, and arithmetic in the afternoon hours. So that's just a quick background on me and myself here.
Awesome. Dr. O'Farrell, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So as we've talked over the last few months, Jim, you've been involved in videos, at least in Smartsheet, and maybe even before that at Winshuttle. But what have you been hearing about in the market about videos and how it's impacting marketing in general? Can you talk through that a little bit more?
Sure. Yeah. Again, kind of with that background, 35, 40 plus years, I was brought up in the ranks of, textual tools for doing marketing. So white paper creation, writing lengthy articles, press releases, everything that's kind of textual based, product specifications, updates for customers. And with the advent really of the, YouTube and these environments, video really is the optimum medium. And there's some really amazing stats about this. For example, 70% of marketers claim that their video produces more conversions than any other content. The average consumer watches over 206 videos a month. Another stat, 59% of senior executives said if both text and video are available on the same topic, they're more likely to use video. One of the more stunning statistics here, videos get 1,200% more shares than text and images combined. So, it just goes on and on, all these statistics about, the power of video and how video can really create a very compelling message and story here. And I even remember, Vikram, when you and I worked together at Winshuttle, we started doing these explanatory videos, and those were very effective in terms of communicating the use of these complex products. So video really is the optimum medium beyond text. And I think it's only going to be more so as we go forward.
So let's switch gears a little bit towards videos for product marketing
Yeah.
specifically. And the title of our talk is Agile Communication Tool. So let's talk a little bit through that, and how do you see videos being used in product marketing?
Great, great. One of the foundational principles that I picked up over the years in product marketing came from a company called Serious Decisions, and they would look at product and product marketing in the context of 5 key capabilities of market research, thought leadership, demand generation, market awareness, and sales enablement. And if you break those down and the role that video plays in them, you'll see how it's an important agile communication tool. In research, creating videos of abstracts and concepts and ideas instead of writing these out and having people read them is far more compelling. Thinking of it in terms of thought leadership, think of that in terms of videos of key pundits, association leaders discussing important ideas that are relative to your product and your solution. Think about it in terms of market awareness. You're trying to get the word out into the market about what you have to offer. Instead of these text-heavy white papers and videos, using videos to raise awareness is a really effective tool. Demand generation, your short explanatory videos, as I previously mentioned, help to highlight not only your solution, but provide context and meaning around that. It's not just a simple screen recording that you're trying to do. You're trying to convey not only your product capability, but the why and the how and the when. And video is incredible for that. And then finally, on the sales enablement side of the equation, I really believe that to build that sales organization, to have them know your product, know your features, know your capabilities, video is a great way of communicating that internally, so you can enable those salespeople to turn around and be able to sell your products and solutions to the market.
That's awesome. So what you're saying is all stages of the marketing funnel, all the way from awareness and thought leadership down to the sales, getting in front of the salespeople, and even getting in front of customers during the deal, it can be really useful as a tool.
Yes.
So let's talk about, like, you've tried to build a video culture at Smartsheet, and what happened? Like, what were some of the challenges you faced when using video, or when trying to deploy video for product marketing at Smartsheet?
Yeah, again, Smartsheet, what a great experience it was working there and managing the product, growing that company from where it was when I first joined to where it is today, and it continues on the path. There were challenges in this. Of course, with a SaaS-based product, you're releasing updates on a nearly weekly basis. So timeliness is really, really critical in terms of communicating product release information, updates to sales, thought leadership, demand generation, all those things I just talked about. So timeliness was a challenge for us. Creating, producing, editing, finalizing video really almost took longer in some sense of the word to create these high quality videos that would accompany the product releases. So that was really important. And the second point is really the relevance of this information. So assuring that the availability of that final video coincides with an event. And it doesn't have to be a product release event. I mean, it could be, you're trying to get a customer story out and a case study out. You're trying to get that to weave in with a webinar. You're trying to make sure that the availability of the video is coincides or is relevant to the actual time of need. So those were a couple of the key challenges that we faced with videos. We had a great team that could create these videos, and the production quality was out of this world. But oftentimes we really didn't need that high level of quality. It was more about timeliness and relevance.
So would you make a distinction between high quality versus high frequency videos?
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, Vikram. High quality video, that's where you want your first class marketing, where you're doing maybe a corporate awareness type video, interview with Mark Mader, CEO of Smartsheet. You don't want that to be done haphazardly. That's where you want high quality video. That's where you'd use a video team internally, or work with an agency on the outside. On the other hand, high frequency videos, this is where I see, the use of tools that allow product marketers themselves to generate those videos and crank out, because we literally had a backlog of about 50 video requests at any given time. And so if we could empower our product marketers to create those videos, we could blow out that product or that video backlog literally overnight.
Right. So talking through that, so this is like, what are some of the solutions you've seen? Like you saw the 50 video backlog. You saw some of the challenges with creating these high frequency videos. You obviously had solved the high quality video problem by having a high class video team at Smartsheet. But how did you solve, or how were you thinking about solving the high frequency video problem?
Yeah, and I really, the challenge that I had at the time, I really didn't find necessarily any tools, so I couldn't really address this at Smartsheet necessarily. But during my teaching, I started teaching at City University this past spring quarter. It was a consumer behavior class, and I came across this solution that we're discussing today. And what I did is I had our post-grad students, instead of turning in an assignment using like a PowerPoint presentation where they would do a video recording with it, I asked them to do like a contextual, meaningful video creation using a solution like Pictory to do this. And I had 22 students who had no idea what video production was all about, creativity, and it turned out beautifully what they did in terms of their assignments. And we'll see more about this as you get into this a little bit further, but the effectiveness of putting this kind of capability in these post-grads' hands was very, very powerful. And I can see the definite applicability to other product, other product marketing use cases.
Great. So yeah, so when we talked to you about Pictory, you were just on your way out of Smartsheet. You were in the process of retiring. But then you were teaching a class, so you decided to use Pictory in your class to experience it and have your students use it, and that you found to be a good experience.
Right. Yep. Very good. Very positive.
But so I think that brings us to a good point to show a quick demo of Pictory. So I'm going to take that from now, and I'm gonna show a quick. I'm going to share my screen and do a short demonstration of Pictory and what the capabilities are. And a couple of things that I wanted to start with. One is I recently created a video for Smartsheet. And as Jim was talking about, it was from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. This is more kind of middle of the funnel prospecting video that their sales team wants to use for prospecting. So here's the kind of video that Pictory can create, and then I'll show you how we can do this with Pictory. So
today's businesses need to be ready for anything, whether it's a new technology transforming the way we work or a global health and economic crisis of historic proportions. According to a recent Harvard Business Review survey, several factors have impacted whether organizations have adapted well to the pandemic. What tools and technology organizations had in place prior to the outbreak? How empowered employees were to be agile and innovative? Whether innovation was driven from the top down or the bottom up. Read the executive summary of this Smartsheet-sponsored research by Harvard Business Review to better understand what software and tools teams need to produce successful work, which tools drive adaptability across an organization, and how to empower employees to innovate. Hint: there's a strong connection between the strength of an organization's technology and how innovative its employees are.
So,
today's businesses.
So this was the video we created. It really took us literally a few minutes of effort, maybe 20 minutes of effort to create this video. And I'm going to show you how this was done using Pictory. And so you get a sense of, you all will get a sense of for what Pictory is capable of. So Pictory has two paths. So this was the article that we talked about, the HBR analytics research, and there was a summary of the article that was on the web page. So I basically took this summary and started with this. So I said, okay, let's take this and create the video from here. So in Pictory, you have two options. You can either start with the article link, and what it does is it then summarizes the article for you, or you can start with a text script. So in the second case, the video that you just saw, I started with a text script. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to copy and paste the script here. And what happens at this point is I have this is my script for the video. And I can proceed now to the next step. And what it does is it gives me a choice to make a horizontal video, a vertical video, or a square video. So I'll choose the horizontal video again. And what it's doing now is, as you saw in the video, every sentence was a scene in the video. So what it's doing is it's trying to find an image that represents that scene the best. So it could be an image or a video that represents that scene the best. So you can see every sentence here is displayed here. Some of them have come up with an image, and we can quickly go through it and see whether we're happy with the scenes and the images that are come up. So for example, this is talking about tools. The image that it picked out was actually like home tools, and maybe we want to pick something that is slightly different, maybe technology tools. So I can do a search of technology here, and I can replace this graphic with something else. So I may choose this one, or if I like this one, but I want something similar, I have a choice to pick something similar. So I can just click on this little icon here, and it brings me some other similar visuals like this that I could choose. So in this case, I'm actually happy with that one. And similarly, I can go through every visual and see whether this is good for me or not for my final video. I also have a choice as I'm uploading these visuals, and this is where the product marketing videos that Jim was talking about will always need is things like screenshots or screen recording. So I can upload screenshots or screen recordings here and share that, and all I have to do is drag and drop it here, and then I can click a button and change the scene here. So we have some existing users here, and there's some new things where we've added for them here. We can add a plain scene, like if you don't want any background in there and you just want a blue scene, you can have a blue scene or with textures and so on. So we can have once we're happy with kind of the visual layout of this thing, then what we do is we go into the audio section of this. Now, what Pictory will do is it will pick out automatically a music track based on the mood of the article. So it picked something here called Closer to the Stars, and you can listen to it or you can change this if you want to. I'm going to leave it as is. And then you can also pick a voiceover. So the voiceover that you heard was a male voice in American accent, and you can pick a different voice as well. And one of the things about these voices, these two are the voices that are the best in terms of the natural conversational capabilities that are offered. But there are many other voices available. So let's pick in this case a British voice that we want to listen to this one in. And that's really it. So once we have the video scenes selected and the appropriate background selected and the audio selected, we can do a quick preview. And I'm going to come back and talk about the brand settings here later, because the thing that's very important for large companies is to make sure that the videos that product marketing or anybody creates comply with the brand of the company. So let's do a quick preview of this. It takes a few seconds to generate the voice, and then it's gonna
Today's businesses need to be ready for anything, whether it's a new technology transforming the way we work or a global health and economic crisis of historic proportions. According to a recent Harvard Business Review Analytics Services survey,
so you saw the video already. This is a slightly different variation of it with the different visuals and a different voice. But the thing that, as I was mentioning, is that's important is for most companies, the brand settings is really important. They want to make sure that every video that is produced has a logo. You can choose the location of the logo, whether it's top left or top right, whether it's on all slides or just on the title scene. Then you can also have a call to action. The call to action is the final outro scene. In the video that I showed you, there was a Smartsheet, download the white paper today, or you can have your custom outro video that many companies will have, their marketing teams will have. You can also have, you can generate your own outro just using the logo and the text. So in this case, my text is for more information, visit. So I just quickly generated it using the logo. Similarly to the outro, I can have an intro scene that displays before the first title scene. And also, as on every scene, I can choose to set the font and the color scheme according to my company's font and color scheme. So as I mentioned, this is really important for the brand team in your company to make sure all the videos are consistently branded. Also, you have these choices on the way the text and the image appear. So, for example, if you don't want the text to appear like a subtitle, but maybe more on the image, you can change that as well. You can edit the text here as you come into the place, and also there's a few other things you can do here, and this is something for the existing users. This is a brand new feature that we just introduced last weekend. You can trim these video clips now. So this is the video clip that's in there, and you can say, hey, I want to pick maybe this. I want to start from the first 5 seconds and to the end of it. So then it's just going to show that part of the video. So that's really most of Pictory. And then the one other thing I wanted to show was that you can actually start from an article itself. So I found an article again on the Smartsheet website around something that their CEO wrote around reimagine productivity. So I can start from the article or a press release. It could be a blog. It could be a third-party mention of your company. And what Pictory does now is it's actually going to try and create a summary of that article. So in the first case, we actually started with the summary. In this case, it's actually creating the summary of the article. So the original article, as you see, had 47 sentences. It picked out 6 sentences that represent the article, and the 6 sentences are highlighted here. And I can, as a creator of the video, I have the choice now. Hey, if I want to remove or add different sentences, I want to say remove this sentence, but maybe I want to add the title of this section. I can quickly do that. So I get choices on what I want to use as my video script. So the starting point is pretty good to begin with, but then you have an option to add or remove sentences, and you always will see the duration of the video. So it'll show that it's a 1 minute 10-second video that will be created. So our ideal recommendation for social media videos are around 1 minute or less. And so you can try to kind of remove some more sentences to come up with just about a minute long video. And then from this point on, it goes to the same step as I showed before. So that's a quick demo of Pictory. And at this point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And for somebody who's interested in a more in-depth demo, we're happy to do a personal demo. So just reach out to us. And we're going to go into some Q&A, and I saw at least one raised hand, so I'm going to unmute Sridhar and see if he has any questions.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Hi, Sridhar.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my question. So one of the things I like about Pictory is how it actually separates each scene automatically without me doing it. But what I would like to see is for each scene, is there a way to say for this scene, this is the keyword? For example, growth is the keyword for one of my scenes.
Right.
Is there a way I can do that?
Yeah. So when I start with the script, if you highlight certain words, like if you actually bold them using Control B, then it'll automatically use that as your keyword.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I will set up some one-on-one time to do it,
Yeah.
so I can effectively. And the other one is during the outro, I put a logo, but the logo is cutting off when you are doing the outro. I can show you what the problem is, but the logo is cutting off when it is zoomed out, zoomed in. So I may need some help there too.
Okay, sounds good, Sridhar. So let's schedule a support call, and then we can go through some of these.
And otherwise, I love it. We recently launched the website, and we were like, we had initially planned for a video, and it was not happening the way I wanted. The quality was not there. I was able to do these videos, like 4 videos in a matter of 1 hour. I think I was able to complete all the videos with little help, I'm not a technical person, but I was able to do them, and I just love them in my website.
Thank you for that testimonial, Sridhar. Awesome. Sridhar is one of our early customers, so and he runs a software consulting company here in the Seattle area. So Michael had some question. Sorry, somebody else? Michael, I'm just trying to unmute you. Okay.
Hi, I have 2 questions. Vikram, the first one's for you. If I have a video, do I have to use a different tool to convert that video from speech to text and then look for sentences in it? Or is there some way that Pictory can consume, like, say, a keynote at an event and then help me turn it into a short video?
So that's a great use case. So you have a recording of a presentation that you wanna.
Yeah, let's say I ran a Zoom meeting like this, and I wanted to create a short video from the text from this meeting.
Yeah, so that's a use case that's on our roadmap. We're working on it feverishly to get that out in the product. It's not right now. Yeah, you'll have to use some other way to do that editing, but we wanna allow you to edit based on transcript.
Right. And then Jim, you said something very important at the beginning. You made a comment about, it was a tone comment about how you do fast, relevant, right, up-to-date communications, and that there's a certain, you didn't use these words. I'm putting my own thoughts into the words I heard you say. A guerrilla nature to it, like instead of the traditional high-quality president in his office video, it's, timely, it's responsive. I have struggled to communicate this concept in many of the communications consulting arrangements that I have been in for large companies in the area. And one of the things I've struggled with is getting people to comprehend how to do casual without being too casual, right? How to embrace a particular company's particular tone when they're being fast and loose. And I wondered if you could just help us understand how you can tap into a tool like Pictory, but get the tone right. Help the employees that you're empowering to get the tone right. I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a great point there, Michael. What I see is traditionally what we had done in the process of creating these videos is we'd go through a script creation process and run that through corporate marketing to make sure the messaging and so on was correct. And then we'd sort of sketch out an outline of what this is, and then work with the video team to try to grok, if you will, what we're trying to build out. Where I see Pictory coming in is that it's kind of an elegant bridge, if you will, between the idea of agile, marketing communications, agile product marketing communications, and that final product. And the reason I see it that way is that one, Vikram articulated this very well, is the branding and the templates and the use of logos and standardized intros and outros and color schemes. What you can do is design these templates to meet the corporate branding guidelines. The second piece of this is that you can actually create a video and deploy that video that fits the standards and guidelines of your corporation, or you could actually use that and feed that to your video team quickly and cut down on that churn that takes place in doing the video script, review, and the review of here's the storyboard and here are the screenshots. Just give them that whole end-to-end idea, and that would cut down on their creation and production time enormously. So it's a way of bridging between the fast requirement need of the product marketing team and the need, if you need it at that level, the elegant marketing video. That's kind of two different ideas behind that. Does that make sense to you?
Great.
Yeah. Sorry, Vikram. Yeah, it makes total sense. Sorry.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Michael, for the question. That was great. And I just got a quick question on email, Jim, and so I thought I'd just ask you, and then we'll wrap up our discussion here. The question was, how have you deployed these videos? What are some of the distribution channels that you've used for some of the videos?
Yeah, that's great. Well, at Smartsheet, what we used Vidyard, for example, as a video deployment platform. Another company that has a really excellent platform for this, an old friend of mine, Dan Vetris, they have a company called Collective Technology that is also a video deployment platform. And the combination of using Pictory as your sort of rapid video development environment and then deploying that on one of these platforms is really ideal. The other one, of course, is YouTube. We would always deploy on YouTube as another video platform. So those are some general ideas around options for video deployment. But if I were you and you're serious about from an enterprise scalability standpoint, take a look at the Collective platform too. They've got some very valuable compliance and management administration types of capabilities in that platform. And it's actually Collective with a K, KOLLECTIVE.
And then do you then also did you tell your customers via email or social media or when a video was available?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'd use it in a variety of different ways. We'd place them on landing pages, place the videos on landing pages, push the videos out with email updates. At Smartsheet, one of the great ways of doing it is putting it right in the bulletins in the use of the application. And in fact, even triggering, if you're in a certain part of the application doing a certain function, have the video that's relevant to that particular function available. And that's the idea. There's so many use cases for this from a standpoint of a product marketing perspective. The bottleneck is really trying to get the enormous amount of ideas and applicability of video to your product marketing solutions completed and out the door. So I think Pictory really is a way of improving that by an order of magnitude, really wiping out that backlog and really putting video to work in your product marketing offerings.
Great, thank you, Jim.
You bet.
And so I know we're 5 minutes over our schedule, but in case people have other questions, we can definitely hang out here. And otherwise, we'll have the recording of the call available, and I'll share that in an email and also on our social media. And thank you so much. Thank you everybody for attending, and thank you, Jim, for your time. This was great conversation.
Great. Thank you for inviting me, Vikram. Thanks to everybody for joining us today.